After apartheid, the South African government left land largely in the hands of a predominantly white elite. Most black citizens remain in townships like this one outside Cape Town. Joao SilvaThe, The New York Times. Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign up. Good morning. Here's what you need to know. Cutting taxes is hard. Trump could make it harder. President Trump is set to visit Capitol Hill today to discuss a Republican plan for the most sweeping tax overhaul in decades. But the proposal supporters say they're concerned that the president will undermine the effort. On Monday, Mr. Trump said he would oppose reducing the amount that Americans can save in 401k retirement accounts, which had been one of the ideas to help pay for a $1.5 trillion tax cut. Here are 6 ways Congress could fund such a cut. On Capitol Hill, President Trump's negotiating style can be unsettling. We have to worry about him shifting positions, one Republican lawmaker said. Al Drago for The New York Times. Russian channel finds a home on YouTube. YouTube, the world's most visited video site, played a crucial role in helping build and expand RT, which U.S. intelligence agencies say is the Kremlin's principal international propaganda outlet. As investigators examine Russian interference in U.S. politics, the once cozy relationship between YouTube, which is owned by Google, and RT is drawing closer scrutiny. An editor at RT explained the news channel's primary aim: where relevant, RT does present a Russian perspective on current events, but we don't promote the Russian point of view, we explain it alongside with presenting others. What on earth would justify that amount? What awfulness went on Monday? The NBC host remarked on the $32 million that her former Fox News colleague Bill O'Reilly had paid to settle sexual harassment allegations. Ms. Kelly, whose new show has gotten off to a rough start in the ratings, also shared part of an email that she sent to Fox News executives in November complaining about Mr. O'Reilly's behavior. Megyn Kelly has talked increasingly about sexual harassment. Chad Botka for The New York Times. And apartheid that didn't end. It's been more than 2 decades since South Africa's majority black population gained a voice in the government. But our correspondent Peter Goodman reports that political liberation has not translated into broad material gains. I've gone from a shack to a shack, one South African said of a country where less than half of the working-age population is officially employed. I'm fighting for everything I have. You still are living in apartheid. The Daily, your audio news report. In today's show, we discuss changes to the regulation of toxic chemicals under President Trump, as shown by the shifting powers of 2 women. Listen on a computer, an iOS device or an Android device. Nathan Law speaking outside Hong Kong's court of final appeal today. He and his fellow activist Joshua Wong have been released on bail while they appeal prison sentences over their roles in a pro-democracy demonstration 3 years ago. Vincent Yu. Associated Press. Business tech's biggest companies are placing huge bets on artificial intelligence, sometimes paying PhDs fresh out of school are people with just a few years of experience, $500,000 a year or more. 238 proposals to be number 2. Amazon said bidders to be the home of its proposed second headquarters came from 43 U.S. states, and from Canada and Mexico. It will name the winner next year. China's Communist Party is increasingly asserting authority over business leaders, weakening their drive to invest and eroding confidence in the country. New York's Attorney General is investigating the Weinstein Company on civil rights grounds after its co-founder Harvey Weinstein was accused of sexual misconduct. Separately, the New Orleans restaurateur John Besh is stepping down from his company after more than 24 female employees reported sexual harassment. U.S. stocks were down on Monday. Here's a snapshot of global markets. Smarter living dips, both new and old, for a more fulfilling life. Learn simple methods to be better at remembering. Here are 5 ways to protect yourself against wedding catastrophes. Recipe of the day: how to make the perfect bowl of soup. Noteworthy strange instruments of the Met Opera. In today's 360 video, taken a performance of Thomas Edison's The Exterminating Angel, which includes everything from tiny violins to slamming doors. Partisan writing you shouldn't miss. Writers from across the political spectrum discuss the controversy over President Trump's condolence call to the widow of a fallen U.S. soldier. Actually, please don't swipe again. The MetroCard is on its way out. Starting late next year, New Yorkers will be able to pay transit fares using a cell phone or credit card. Archaeology by Google. Using Google Earth, archaeologists have uncovered nearly 400 previously undocumented stone structures they call gates in the Saudi Arabian desert. They believe the structures may have been built by nomadic tribes thousands of years ago. A matchup with no underdog. This is the first time since 1970 that the two teams in the World Series each won more than 100 games during the regular season. Game 1 between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Houston Astros is tonight. Our baseball columnist, Tyler Kepner, previews the series. Best of late-night TV. Trevor Noah was unimpressed after John Kelly, the White House chief of staff, called Rep. Frederica Wilson an empty barrel. Where I come from, you don't call someone an empty barrel, because no one knows what that means, Mr. Noah said. Quotation of the day, I heard him stumbling on trying to remember my husband's name. And that's what hurt me the most, because if my husband is out here fighting for our country, and he risked his life for our country, why can't you remember his name? Maisha Johnson, describing the call she received from President Trump after her husband, Sergeant David Johnson, was killed in Niger. Want to work with us? It's a New York Times job that sounds even more fun than writing the morning briefing every year. Our travel section recommends 52 places to go. We're looking to hire a correspondent to visit every destination on the list. Here's how to apply. Backstory: the Olympic torch was lit today in Greece, beginning the countdown to the next Winter Games. The flame will travel more than 5,000 miles east to South Korea, arriving November 1 to 100 days before the 2018 Olympics begin. A dress rehearsal for today's torch lighting. Petros Giannakouros, Associated Press. Starting in the city of Incheon, the torch will cross South Korea, with stops in 9 provinces and 8 major cities, before arriving in Pyeongchang for the opening ceremony on Feb. 9. The lighting of the torch goes back to the ancient games, but the Olympic flame made its first modern appearance at the 1928 Games in Amsterdam. The relay began with the 1936 Games in Berlin. The torch itself is designed by the host country. The Times noted in 2010 the modern Olympic Games have become as much a global contest among designers and architects as among athletes. Each Olympics is expected to produce a logo, a signature building, and a characteristic torch that symbolizes local tradition and national character. The torch for the 1988 Summer Games in Seoul featured a bright metal body and Korean graphic elements. The 5-pronged shape of the 2018 torch represents the Korean symbol for Pyeongchang. In Young Kong contributed reporting, _______. Your morning briefing is published weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern and updated all morning. Browse past briefings here. If photographs appear out of order, please download the updated New York Times app from iTunes or Google Play. What would you like to see here? Contact us at briefing@nytimes.com. You can get the briefing delivered to your inbox Sunday through Friday. We have 4 global editions, timed for the Americas, Europe, Asia and Australia. Check out our full range of free newsletters here.